Good evening, everybody. So I'll begin with my journey, how I started my civil services journey. Actually, I started preparing for UPSC in 2020 from 2020. So I was preparing for that from Delhi. I did my coaching in Vajiram in the initial phase. After that, Corona happened and I had to come back. So I did my coaching initially there, and I was focused on my UPSC journey. In the middle of 2021, 7th JPSC form came out. I filled it. I was not quite sure about JPSC, but yeah, I was preparing for UPSC properly. Now, as far as I remember, we had our prelims in September 2021 of JPSC. So, and I had my prelims of UPSC in 2021 October. So actually there are two papers in prelims of JPSC. One is based on your India GS and the other one is based on your Jharkhand GS. So when I was preparing for the UPSC, I was actually doing okay with my first paper of JPSC. I could attempt it in a good manner. Now the challenge for me was the second paper, which was on Jharkhand. I remember in July 2021, I started reading a green book of green covered book, Plethora. I think you might have heard about it. Yeah, it's written in English medium and I started reading it. I revised it 3 to 4 times before prelims. I just read the things, I revised it. It was tough for me because I was not very much acquainted with the Jharkhand GS part, but I knew I am giving the exam, so I had to do it with my whole heart. So in September, by end of I think August, I had done my 3 times revision of that Plethora book. And before the prelims, I did one more revision. I also was doing the preparation for UPSC, so GS paper 1 was already in my hands. So this way I gave my prelims of JPSC and I could sail through with a decent score. Now till here I was not focused. I had my focus on JPSC and UPSC both. So this might be a difference with you candidates, but after this I was completely sure that okay, if I'm clearing prelims, so I have to give my whole heart to JPSC. After giving my prelims in 2021 September and my UPSC prelims in October 2021, after that I came to Ranchi. I am from Hazaribagh, so I came Ranchi. My name is Ananya Sinha. I came to Ranchi and here I started giving the mains test series and Catalyst. Now from here I was completely focused on my JPSC. My optional, I took my language paper as Nagpuri. So I started studying Nagpuri. I had no clue about Nagpuri. I heard from my seniors and other people from Jharkhand that yeah, it's a good subject, it's a decent subject in which you can score well. I don't know, this time marks are not out. I don't know about this time how were the marks of Nagpuri. People are speculating it was not good, but yeah, I cannot claim that. But yeah, in my time I heard that Nagpuri is a decent subject. So I took Nagpuri, I studied from Sudhir sir, and here I joined the test series of Catalyst. Now we all know there are 4 papers in GS in Jharkhand. Everybody is comfortable with my language? Yes. Okay. So there are 4 papers in Jharkhand GS, like the mains part, syllabus. So what I did, I started my answer writing test series here. And at my home, at my hostel, I went and I started making notes of each and every topic. Suppose you might have seen that there's a topic Aryan culture. So I wrote the topic Aryan culture. I started making notes. Now because of the UPSC journey, I knew that what sort of materials I had to cover. I already had that in mind. So I searched on Google, Aryan culture UPSC. I searched like that in the Google. And length of material, ample of material was displayed. Now I selected from whatever good I got, I copy pasted that and I made a notes of my own on the laptop. Okay. Likewise, I made the notes of every topic mentioned in the syllabus, of the whole syllabus. Now not for the whole syllabus, obviously of Jharkhand history I did not make it because we have to attempt 2 questions from history. There are 4 parts and we have to attempt 2. So I was good at Indian medieval, Indian ancient and Indian modern history. So I made the notes of these 3. I left Jharkhand part because I was not good, you know, as per my journey I've told you, you knew I was not good at it. So I did not make the notes of Jharkhand history. I made these 3. Likewise in geography also, I left the Jharkhand geography part. I made the notes of other 3 parts. and economics, we had to do Jharkhand economics also. So I took help from Vishal sir, I took help from internet, and whatever notes I could make, I made the notes. Similarly of polity and public administration. Public administration is not dealt in very properly in UPSC, like thinkers and the names. So how many of you are preparing for UPSC as well here? Okay, so yeah, so for that I had to make special notes because I had no idea. So I also asked from sir which book is nice, what should I do. So I took help from the teachers over here, and I took help from the Google, and I made my own notes. So this is how I made my notes. Now as I was doing these note making in the months of October, November and December, simultaneously I was giving my mains test series in this institution. Now my test series began in October. I had not done my note making till then. Okay, so sir came and I gave my first test. So sir told me, after my copy was checked, sir told me you have to write it in a more proper manner. You write it like an essay. You have to make it more point wise. You have to inculcate more inputs like data facts and flowchart and diagrams, India ka map, world map. So everything like that, sir gave me many inputs. So what I did, I started making my notes at my hostel in the same way as sir guided me to write the answers. So that was a double preparation for me. My notes was also based on how sir was guiding me to write an answer in the answer sheet. For every topic, I made a notes of 800 to 1000 words on my laptop. So my notes was prepared, and I was also able to make a picture of the answer which I would write in the main exam day. I actually had the framework. Now suppose, and one question was there on agriculture and economics this year. So already on agriculture I had made my notes. So in the exam time, I did not have to think about the structure of the answer much, because I had done that in my note making time. So that helped me to write my answers quickly over there. You have a very short amount of time on the main answer exam day. So it's better, like, because the Jharkhand syllabus is very detailed, so you can do that yourself also. Here also, if you're studying, you might be getting the notes. If you're not getting it topic wise, I did it like that. I did my note making topic wise. This is how I prepared for the mains. Now, as sir told, I was not very good in the answer writing part in the very beginning, because for the UPSC also I was writing in 250 words. In UPSC we have to write around 250 words. So I had practiced that way, but here you have to write long answers, about 700, 800 words. So writing such a long answer is a big task with in a small amount of time, because you have to structure that answer first. Like suppose you have to write on industrialization. Now how will you begin? You have to first you will have to introduce the topic. What is industrialization? What are the problems? What are the challenges in India? What are the things that have been done since independence? What was the history of industrialization in India? What are the schemes presently running in industrialization? So you'll have to make a flowchart in your mind how your answer will look like of 800 words. So doing that, sir actually taught me to how to frame an answer, and how to inculcate your maps, how to make the margins in the side, how to write a very good looking answer that attracts the examiner. You have to underline things. So all these things in bits and bytes, I learned them slowly and steadily after the prelims in the month of October, November, December. And actually we had our mains exam in January, which was postponed in March. Yeah, so I was preparing according to the January date sheet. So by December I had done my note making, I had given my test series, and I was well prepared with this both. Now I was revising at home in the month of January. I did that, but unfortunately the exam was postponed. We all were shattered. This is a part of JPSC, a part of life. So again I went back home and I started reading UPSC, but after 20 to 25 days later, notification again came that we'll have a JPSC mains exam. We were given 20 days to do that. Now already I had prepared my notes in the month of October, November and December, and now I had just 20 days to go for the mains. So only those notes I revised in those 20 days. So it's very important that you have a set of, like, you have your notes, and that too which is you have to like add current affairs on that. Every moment you are reading something, add that according to your syllabus. That adds to your answer, that gives you more marks, because examiner will give you marks when you add current affairs. So that was only that part I did in those 20 days. Otherwise I revised the old notes and I gave the exams. After that, after clearing the mains, I came again in Ranchi. I gave 3 mocks in Catalyst, and after giving my 3 mocks in the Catalyst, I just got 10 days for the interview. So whatever I could do, the mocks here and the classes which were done here, I did that. I presented myself whatever way I could, and then the results came, and this is where I am. So now this was the journey. Any special question if you want to ask me? I briefed my journey here. Now if you want to ask me any special question, if you have doubts about the books or the time management or anything which you feel you need to ask me, you can ask me. It is a bit different because I am not good in the Jharkhand. I wouldn't say I have done much in the Jharkhand part well, but yeah, I can help you in the India GS part. If you want to ask me about the books or any other thing which you think I can answer, you're free to ask me. Any question if you have.
How did you manage your time?
See, in the beginning when I was preparing for UPSC, we cannot overburden ourselves. Like if you have classes, like I had my coaching classes in Delhi, so I had approx 6 to 8 hours I could get at max after everything. So I did that. Also you have to inculcate a hobby, like I did yoga, I did meditation, I used to do everything apart, like whichever thing you have to do, you cannot only do studies for 2 years, long 2 years. You have to have some of the hobbies like yoga, meditation, gardening, walking, running, music, anything. So have a hobby with you, because that will help you to rejuvenate yourself. Also I took breaks in a week, once or twice a week I took break. I did not study, I did something to cool myself. I used to talk to some of my good friends. So likewise I actually took breaks. What happens is when we are too motivated, we give our best, and after a week or 10 days we are actually drained and we don't have energy to continue. So you have to see that what is your stamina, and according to that you have to give proper breaks after few intervals. That will help you rejuvenate yourself. So this is how I kept myself energetic, and I divided my time, like in the morning 2 to 3 hours I did my current affairs, then I went to the coaching for my classes, I came back, and then I studied my GS part and the optional part which I had. Sociology is my optional, so I studied that. So this is how I divided my time. Like in the morning, as my mind was fresh, I knew I could do current affairs magazine and the newspaper very well, so I did that in the morning, and my sociology also a little bit. In the second half, because GS is easier than I feel current affairs, so I did my GS in the second half. It's up to you. Like if you feel that you're comfortable in current affairs more, you can do it in the time when you're little bit less energetic. So when you're fresh, do something which takes more energy, and when you're less fresh, and mundane works can be done when you're less fresh, that you can do. So this is how I did my part. Any other question? If you want some more details, you can ask. PT exam. See sir, there are 2 papers. In one you have, yeah, there are 2 papers in the PT. One you have of India GS and the other one is for Jharkhand GS. India GS, because I was about to give prelims of UPSC, I was actually reading according to that. I did not do any special preparations. Like for history, if I was reading certain books, like I was reading NCRTs for the history, I was reading Lakshmikant for the polity, I was reading art and culture, Nitin Singhania. So I was reading all these books already. So that only helped me in the GS1 part. For the Jharkhand GS, I read plethora. See, I won't suggest the same strategy for the prelims, because it helped me because I was into UPSC. So actually I scored more in the first paper, and in the second paper it was an average score, and it was in the first paper it was a better score. So I won't suggest a similar strategy for you guys. You'll have to balance both the papers. You'll have to also focus on the Jharkhand GS part, and I think you are being taught in the coaching and you have better resources more than I had. I was new to this, so I did not have better resources, but if you are in the coaching, you might get better guidance for that. I would say balance both the papers. This is how I did. I just studied for 2 months for the second paper. I read 3 to 4 times. I revised it well, the green book, plethora book, and for the first, and yeah, I also read a current affairs compilation of Jharkhand, 1 year compilation. I read that also 3 to 4 times. So these 2 books I did for the prelims, and also the UPSC part helped me for the GS1. You can, if you want, I can give you the detailed books of my GS1. For polity, I read Lakshmikant. For history, NCRTs and the Spectrum. And please remind me other subjects. Geography, I did NCRTs. And yeah, science. Science, I read NCRTs. I did not read any special thing. Yeah, I was following Vision Current Affairs. So because of that, I was reading Vision Current Affairs since 2 years from 2020. So that helped me in science and tech. And in for environment, I did. There's a book of ma'am Vaishali ma'am's book. If you know, she's a Vajiram teacher. It's a green cover book, Vaishali's ma'am's book, Environment. So I read that. And for economics, I read Vivek sir's book, Vivek Sir Economics. This is also a book written for UPSC, but it's a very good book for economics. I read these books. Vivek Sir for economics. For no, for Nagpuri, I did not make proper flowcharts and all. I read from Sudhir sir, and actually I was running out of time in Nagpuri. For me, it was a lengthy paper, so I wrote it. I could barely complete the paper, so I wrote it well. I think I made few maps wherever I could, for like if you want to show where is Nagpuri spoken. So I made the map of Jharkhand and the Chota Nagpur area. I just shaded it that here Nagpur is spoken. So small bits in my innovations, that if you could do some innovations in your paper, that will actually fetch you more marks. Yes, I just had 4 months to prepare. I had no idea of Nagpuri. After prelims of JPSC, I started preparing for Nagpuri. So I could not invest more. But yeah, if you guys are preparing for now, I would suggest you that you put in your whole heart and soul. I did a reading of 4 months, so I did that. For the Jharkhand part and the Nagpuri part, I'm not too good. For yeah, I can guide you better in the GS part of India. Any other book? Any other subject?
Yeah, ma'am. Can you please emphasize on current affairs?
Current affairs, yeah. Current affairs, I read The Hindu daily. That's my first thing I do when I wake up. So I read The Hindu, and I read Vision Current Affairs monthly compilation. That I do. And yeah, PT 365 before prelims of UPSC I read. I just read this, yeah, and Insights Daily Current Affairs and the quiz. I do all this for UPSC part, but yeah, any public service, if you're preparing, if you do this, that will be a boon for you. Yeah, I did tropical cyclone. And the second question, part B. Agriculture, tree, yeah, forestry, based on the forest, national, yeah, natural vegetation, yes. I did the cyclone part and the natural vegetation part. For the cyclone, there are ample amount of diagrams, world map and the India map, and then recent developments of IMD. So everything, also IMD is one of the 6 centers in the world for studying tropical cyclones. So everything I could remember from the current affairs, I incorporated everything in that answer for the tropical cyclones. I did the national income part. And, in the Vivek sir's book, national income is very well explained. It's the first chapter of that book, and it's very well explained with number of diagrams. Sustainable development. And in and also there was question on agriculture. I did that. Agriculture, I did that. In the agriculture part, I first introduced about the condition of India, then I wrote about the schemes, the problems, and what are the solution according to me, what are the schemes which Jharkhand is running, what are the schemes which central government is running. So everything like that. There's a question, I first start with, okay, introduction, I have to write 100 words. Then I have to explain pros in 100 words. So I made a flowchart on the rough sheet of the question paper or anywhere, that how I have to cover my 800 words. And accordingly, that just takes 4 to 5 minutes. And when that flowchart is prepared, you can write the answer in the other 35 minutes very easily. But if you're not clear with the flowchart in your mind, you will fumble in writing the answer. You won't have that flow while writing the answer, and because of that you will end up taking 50 minutes and 1 hour for just one answer. So it's better to give 5 minutes, prepare a mind map in your rough sheet, and then implement your answer. That will make the time management more efficient on your part. So I did that. Any more questions?
Ma'am, what was the thought process for going for Nagpuri, considering the fact that you could have easily tackled English on a shorter span of time?
Ma'am, actually, English, we have to read number of novels, and you have to have a knowledge of literature. Communicating in English and reading English as a literature subject are two different things. And for that you have to have an in-depth knowledge, and I was not confident on that part. And my some of my friends who were preparing for JPSC, they told me that Nagpuri is a subject which has a shorter syllabus, and that will help you cover that subject in a short span of time, in a 1 or 2 months. So that's why I took Nagpuri. I did not take English just because of that, because I can speak in English, but I don't have any knowledge of literature. So I feared taking that, so I did not take it. I hope I satisfied you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more question?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
basically, what I wanted to ask, you for the current affairs, you follow the reason.
Yes.
That is for the main purpose, that is fine. But how we go for the prelims oriented?
Okay. See, when we follow a magazine, supposedly you're following a topic called WHO, some news on WHO, that WHO gave India a donation of so and so. Now, when you're reading that news in the Vision magazine of 2 pages, you also read in the side, the boxes are there in which you read when was WHO established, what was the foundation, what was the reason, who are the members, who are given the voting rights. So you prepare for these, you prepare for these short information along with the things you're reading. So you're actually preparing for MCQs too. And one more thing, when you have so much knowledge, it's very easy to eliminate. Like, there are 4 options. In those 4 options, you will be able to eliminate the options when you have the knowledge of that thing. So it's nice if you read something in a detailed manner. I don't think that prelims and mains and interview can be prepared segregately. I feel it's an integrated preparation on the whole. I never thought to prepare for prelims first and then I'll go for mains. I actually prepared on the whole. I did not think that way. I did not segregate the things. And when you prepare on a topic, like as I gave an example of WHO, likewise SARC or anything you're reading, when you're reading India-US relations. So when you're reading US, automatically you have in a mind, acha, US, so I should look at US on the map. I should see which rivers, which seas are surrounding it, what are the mountains over there. So this is the inquisitiveness which you need to develop as a civil service aspirant. That comes when you read. When you read, these things will develop slowly. In 1 or 2 months, you'll be able to develop these things. And then you will be able to prepare for MCQs as well as the mains part. That's an integrated preparation. And whenever you come across a new thing, you can note it down somewhere, or you can copy paste in your Evernote or anywhere. So that's how I tried to do. Yeah, I need to do it in a more efficient manner, but yeah, that's how we can do it. Any more questions, sir? Okay. Do you think I need to explain this part better? If you have any doubts, you can ask on this. If I'm not able to satisfy that prelims, how you did prelims and mains differently. See, okay, I'll explain the things once more. I am seeing question mark on the faces because, see, when I read a topic in the current affairs magazine, if you're reading a topic, you actually read the length and breadth of that topic. Okay, and when you're reading that, you will be able to eliminate the MCQs very easily, the options. Some options are so vague and you will know that it is not going to work here. So it's very important that you don't segregate your prelims and mains. I don't think it is a wise decision to do. You have to do it in an integrated manner, in my opinion.
What my concern is what I whatever we are preparing for JPSC and in the purpose of information, the way of questions they are asking even in the prelims is also different.
Yeah, it's different.
But definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same thing, like how we can, should we go for? Did you approach any, regional current affairs, or simply in the winter I was covered that?
For the current affairs, honestly, I read the Hindu. I read the Vision magazine very thoroughly every month. I also followed Insights Daily Current Affairs. They updated very well. I did these three things, and whenever I was reading a magazine, as I told, when I'm reading India US, I used to think that अच्छा इसे क्या questions और आ सकते हैं. Like I used to think on myself, and I used to search on Google. And if I got some new information, I used to incorporate that in the magazine itself while I was reading it. So next time I revised it, I had those information right here. I did not have to search it again. I had that in my memory already because I had written it. So this is how I prepared for current affairs. I did not do anything extra. And for the Jharkhand GS, as I said, I read a compilation of 1 year current affairs, and I did the second part of the JPSC syllabus. I truly did this, and it worked for me. It worked for me. GS paper 1, I can say that it was a nice score, and in the Jharkhand GS, it was an average score.
Ma'am, other than this, like these things, management between the UPSC and the JPSC, how things could be managed. Like, we have that optional also. Now a time of here only, that time, only we can cover that optional syllabus. Then we will not get that next time. So again, here everything we will cover, and a part of that also has happened to people. So how would you manage it? What should we do now? I mean, how should approach that?
Now, if you're asking me, like, if you have 2 or 3 months, I don't know when is 11 JPSC, I really don't know, but if it's in 2 or 3 months, and if you're running short of time, you cannot read the magazine of the whole year, you can go for a monthly compilation. If you have not prepared your own notes, then if you are yourself preparing your own notes from the Hindu from 1 year, it's fine. If you're not, go for a monthly for a yearly compilation if you have less amount of time. If you have time, do it in a decent way, because you cannot have shortcuts for this exam. This is a fact. You cannot have shortcuts for public service exam. You will have to deal with it in detailed manner. There's no shortcut. There is no shortcut, because a huge amount of competition is there in the market, and you have to cross every competition. So don't take any shortcuts, and be positive every time. Whatever you think, you are creating in your 3D. You're attracting the same thing in your 3D. So always vibrate in positive direction. Always have that positivity, because actually you are creating a future with the vibrations you are in. So try to be positive. If you're feeling insecure or sad sometimes, it's okay, but for your maximum times, you should have that positivity in you. Whatever is the 3D, it does not matter, but have that positivity, have that strength that yeah, I will clear it, and it will happen. Just be positive always. Any more questions? Nagpuri. Honestly, I'm telling you, I had October, November, December, and January in hand. I did classes of Sudhir sir. I followed his notes diligently. I revised them. I made the short notes of whatever he told. Like he had the like supposedly there's a topic in Nagpuri in which he gave the notes of 4 pages. So I made a short notes of half page, because before exams you cannot revise that lengthy thing. Yeah, this is a very important thing to know. If you're making your own notes also, highlight the important parts when you're reading. For the first reading, highlight it with a pencil. For the second reading, highlight it with highlighter. Means have the habit of highlighting, because at the end of the day, before one day of the exam, you cannot revise that 1000-page notes. You'll have to flip very fast, and you have to just read the highlighted part. It's very important. Before one day of the exam, you cannot revise the whole thing, and it's very important that before one day, you just have a scroll of everything you've written, everything you've made in your notes. For me, it worked, and I would suggest that you should do it, because you cannot revise a lengthy 1000-page and 2000-page notes one day before the exam. So have a habit of making very crisp notes, very handy notes, maybe 100 or 200 pages at max, which you will revise just before the day of the exam. That works, because we have a whole lot of pressure before the exam, and for handling that pressure, you actually need to make a very short note for the exam day. Any more question?
Man,
Hmm?
for optional,
Hmm.
should we write the test before the prelims or can we go for after prelims also? Is it manageable after this or how we can do it?
If you ask me personally, if you have a 1 year time for preparing for prelims, if prelims is happening after 1 year or 6-7 months, I would not suggest you to go from the optional part after prelims, because you have 1 year time from now. Because the JPSC calendar is not fixed, it is a very dicey thing. It's a thing which is based on, like, fortunate. If you're fortunate, you'll get a time according to what you have planned. So if you're getting 1 year time, do it beforehand. Don't give it a chance that okay, after prelims I'll prepare. It worked for me. I was lucky enough that I got 4 to 5 months in hand, because they took prelims in 20 days. What they might have done who had done nothing, and they got their names in the second list and they had 20 days in hand. I had people around me who were in that situation. So in 20 days preparing an optional is not possible. Work hard and have things in your hand beforehand. According to me, according to my experience, I've seen people struggling. You might know the news that many people were added in the second list and they had just 20 days. So preparing optional in 20 days is something like an impossible task. So just keep yourself safe from that situation. Prepare yourself in such a way that you're not trapped in that situation. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Yeah. You can ask me any question. I'm a student still, like you, so I can understand what are the problems you go through. You can ask me anything.
Also, did you make notes from, let's say, Hindu or from these monthly magazines?
Uh,
Do you have to make notes or also you have to read?
for me, I did not make the notes from Hindu properly. If anything new I got, I just wrote it down. But like for my further studies, I'll continue preparing. So for that, I'm saying I will try to make important thing notes. But I was not able to do that in my time. But for my strategy for the future, I will try to do it. I did not do it, but I will try to do it now. Um,
And for prelims, did you follow that the previous year that is Ghatna Strategy? Is
uh,
it necessary to do and how do you manage?
yeah, ma'am, for Jharkhand economics, I searched Google and I read I whatever matter I could gather from economic survey. I did that. I could not follow any book for that. I made notes according to the Google search and from the economic survey. And for economics India part, I read Vivek sir's book and thoroughly made notes from current affairs and Vivek sir's book and made a compilation. And then I took the printout and I studied and highlighted the materials. Okay. And sir, previous year's question, I think you should look at them, because when you're seeing previous year's question, you know in which direction you have to read, because we don't know what type of questions an examiner will ask, but that previous year's question will be a guide to you which will help you while you're studying. Like we know that what type of questions JPSC can ask, which is the highest population state. So if you see that question in the previous year's question, or some other question, you know that this type of questions can be asked. So you will prepare in that way. You will deal in other topics in that way. Which is the highest density, which is the highest state with the highest production of wheat, which is the state with the highest production of sugarcane. So when you know that they're asking in which state there's highest production or this or that, so you will prepare the similar things in the other topics. So you previous year's question paper acts as a guide. In UPSC that's a must, and in JPSC also you should do it, according to me. I just glanced through the JPSC previous year's questions before starting my preparation. I had glanced, so I would say you should also.
To include this?
Whatever book,
Mhm.
it is necessary to make notes or only go through and
For the GS papers,
yes, for GS.
I did not make notes, sir. I did not make, but again, I would say, like the current affairs I told, I will try to make very crisp notes. Crisp notes, as in for one book, not more than 10 pages of A4 sheets. Like for the NCRT, if I'm reading ancient history, that red color book, if you remember of class 11, there's a red color book of ancient history. So I wouldn't make more than 10 to 15 pages notes. I will do it. I did not do it before, but I will do it now when I prepare. I think that helps. That definitely helps, because before prelims, 1 week time in which you're revising, you cannot scroll through the whole book. Otherwise, you underline in the book. You can do that. You highlight just the important points and then you scroll very fast, or you make the notes. But you have to do something that you can revise in 1 week time before exam. That is a must. You have to revise. So whatever strategy you do, be it notes or be it highlighting. It's up to you, but do something so that you can revise before exams, according to me. Yeah, what were you asking, sir? Ja. Anybody else?
Movement that you already answered. Thank you.
Yeah. I would suggest you 3 books. Like if you want to read 3 to 4 books, I'll suggest you in your free time. I would suggest you can read them. The Secret, Power of Subconscious Mind, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You'll search them, you'll get it easily. And a Happy Pocket Full of Money or something. These are 4 books. The Secret, Power of Subconscious Mind, and Power of Now, Happy Pocket Full of Money. These are 3-4 books. If you have free time and you are a book lover, or if you want to have that positivity in you, you can go through these books. These are good novels. I did that. I mean, it helped me. So I told you guys. Any more questions?
Ma'am, as you told, like you were doing yoga and meditation, like how things can be managed, because we have classes in the morning, evening also. We have to read optional and current affairs. Everything in between that, how this should be managed.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly my routine of a day when I was doing my coaching in Delhi. I used to get up at 6 to 6:30. I used to freshen up, and then I used to do yoga and meditation. So it was 7:15 till then, 7:15 to 7:30. Then I read current affairs Hindu for 2 hours. 9:30, it was 9:30. I took metro, I went to the coaching, I returned back at 5:30, and after that I studied till 11, and in the between I took breaks for the dinner. It is a very hectic thing to study with the classes, but you will have to do it for a year. Classes will end after a year, then you'll have ample amount of time, but till then you'll have to have a very hectic routine. It's okay. It's just a matter of 1 year, and it's about your life, so you can have that. You'll have to spend that much amount of time, and this is my actual routine. At 11 I went to bed, and then again the next day 6:30. And yeah, I took breaks on Sunday or some days in which I felt I'm exhausted, but on a proper day my routine was such. 6 to 8 hours at max I could take out. This was my actual routine on a day in Delhi, and I followed it till I did my coaching. After that, when I was free, I had my whole day. Like when I did not have to go for any coaching, I had whole day. So then I used to even take a nap in the lunch, after lunch. So that's the time when we don't do coaching. But while coaching, that was my routine.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
From which subject you did you study?
Graduation. I completed my engineering from BIT Meshra, Computer Science Engineering. Yes. Any more questions? Sir is waiting.
Which year you passed?
Yeah. Yeah, please again.
Which year you passed out?
2019.
Okay. Did you have any job?
What are you asking about my job? What did he?
Yes.
No, I did not take placements. I was sure I had to get into this field. So after my completing my graduation, I did not take placements. I went Delhi and I started my coaching. I took time to settle. So I think 2019 passed in settling down, and from 2020 I started preparing in a proper way.
What was the question asked to
Okay.
Interview questions. My interview was based on my graduation background, computer science, and also on the current affairs. Current affairs. In then, repo rate was in news. RBI had just increased, yeah. So it was in news. So I was asked a question on that. I was asked a question on US judges. Actually, paper was leaked of US judges that they are going to abolish the abortion laws or something. Paper was released, leaked. That was in controversy then. So according to that, one question was asked that when are US judges retire? What is the US judges retirement year? I did not know, so I said I don't know, sir. But according to like there, then a question followed that do you think actually they are not retired, they can work for n amount of years. So then the question followed, what is better? In India we have 65 years and there they don't have a retirement age, so what do you think is better? So this was one question. So I answered that sir, according to the health, and this is one size fits all will not help here. So according to the health of the judge, it can be decided, like because they are also an asset for a society. So according to their health, it can be decided that what should be done. I answered, and they asked me a question on Brexit and similar current affairs question. My question was not situational, but yeah, in other students board, other candidates board, they asked similar questions that if you are in so and so position, what will you do if such circumstances arise? So these were the questions which was asked. Any more questions? Actually, sir is waiting.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, would you mind sharing your questions on your background, I mean your engineering background?
Yeah, you can ask me anything.
Yeah, ma'am, would you please share what kind of questions did they ask you regarding your CS background? Because I'm
Oh.
also from the same branch.
Acha, they'll actually we study computer com computer science. They asked me about uh, what are the languages which you know, when was copy paste discovered, who discovered it. Oh, so they asked me about similar questions about when was who was the person who invented copy paste, who what is the full form of computer, and such similar questions. It was not computer science. We read data sciences and computers, we read artificial intelligence, and there are so many things in current affairs going on. But they did not ask such questions. It was my bad luck. They were very on the static part of computers, which we read in class 9th and 10th, those history of computers. That is not computer science. So that was my bad luck. But yeah, I could sail through them, whatever I had. And actually they test your personality. That's not about the knowledge. So it was a decent interview for me. Any more? No, I said sorry in a couple of questions, and they don't mind it. They don't mind it. I don't feel. Yeah, sorry, sir, I'll read about it. Sorry, I don't know. Be polite and be gentle and show that you want to learn, and you will obviously grasp the knowledge of whatever you're asking later on. They also one of the board members sung a song, and he said, "Who is the singer?" And it was some old song. I did not know, so I said, "Sorry, sir, I don't know the song, singer of the song." He sung the song, and I was like, "What is it?" It was a surprise for me. So it was a cordial environment, very good people. It was fine for me. I think questions are over. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.